Good evening. Good evening. Hope all is well on this Saturday night. I want to welcome you to Trading Made Easy here on YouTube. And I also want to invite you to what I do prior to the market opening in preparation for my trading week. One of the things that you definitely want to do is prepare ahead of time, right? You have to get ready before you have to be ready. And so this video is for anyone who is in the trading world. You trade foreign currency, you're interested in trading foreign currency, you're struggling trading foreign currency, you're looking for a simple, easy way to profit in the foreign exchange market. If any of those things are remotely similar or close to you and your circumstance, then you're at the right video, because what I'm going to show you is one, of course, I'm going to show you, I'm marking up my, not even marking up, I'm used to doing that before this phenomenal system, and I'll explain all that to you. I'm not even marking up, I'm just really looking for the setups. And I'm doing this, it's Saturday night, and I'm doing this before the market opens. Now, I won't be trading on Sunday, but I like to just have it done um, prior to Sunday. And I just recently stopped trading on Sundays because it just makes sense that when you think about it, the market is just opening up from a sleep over the weekend. And just like you, when you wake up in the morning, most people don't spring out of the bed and just, ready to go. You have to kind of, gear up. You gear up. When it's time to get up, when the alarm clock goes off, you kind of lay there for a little while and just get yourself together before you actually get out of the bed and you make it to the bathroom and all those things. You're not just up and ready and at your absolute best. And so is the same with the market. It's not up, it's not at its absolute best. And so it's gearing up. So for that reason, it's risky to trade. And typically also on Sundays, the market does whatever reversals it's going to do, whatever it flip flops, because it's trying to get up, it's trying to get its footing, it's trying to decide, on which way is going to actually go. So for that reason, I stopped trading on Sundays, right? So nevertheless, I'm looking for my setup. I have my pencil, my pen and pad here. And what I do is, first, let me let you know, I use a phenomenal indicator system. It's an exclusive indicator system. It's not one that you'll be able to find anywhere. You actually have to purchase this exclusive set of indicators. And I absolutely love this suite of indicators because it's all inclusive. And what I mean by that is everything that you would manually do to mark up your charts and analyze your charts is already built into the system. So you literally don't have to do any of those things. You're only looking for 3 arrows. That's it. You're only looking for 3 arrows. And I'm going to explain that in more detail. So your trend lines, what you see up here are trend lines. That's already built into this system. Your support and resistance right here, that's already built into the system. And then you have some very, very unique algorithms that read the direction of the market with such precision and accuracy that I've never seen an indicator like this in my 2.5 years of trading. Now, I am an indicators person. I love indicators because for me, I believe indicators is that third eye. It sees what you're unable to see. And so for that, I like to have that, just that extra support. It's like, it's just that extra support that I like to have. It does not alleviate or take the place of you having to analyze and know some things, but it is a help, And of course, you have different types of indicators too. You have lagging and leading indicators. I'm not gonna get into all of that because with this suite of indicators, none of that even matters. It doesn't even matter. This is the perfect combination of elements to read the market. And so you don't have to do all these things manually, right? You don't have to do these things manually. Now, what I do in addition, because I believe in confirmations as well, though your confirmations, again, is built into that also. But I just like to add some additional. That's just me. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Now, on some upcoming videos, I will be talking about this very, very unique line here, which is called the lagging span. It's part of the Ichimoku cloud. I only use this aspect of it, and that's primarily because the lagging span, it pretty much tells you where the market is going to go based on where it's been. So it gives you a forecast of the future, in the future, of where the market is going to be. But that's a different training. That's a different training, but I do like to have that here because sometimes I always use it as confirmation, but sometimes I use this as my measure for my take profit. Just depends on what's going on in the market. And then, of course, I have the 50 EMA, the 50 exponential moving average there as well, because it provides a very, very strong directional indicator, directional movement. So I like to have those there for those extra confirmations. Also, this system, we add the MACD on here as well. And then, of course, you have the symbol changers here for your convenience, so you don't have to keep pulling it down. You can just, flip through. And this is literally what I do. I'm not going to talk about the MACD. That's a different indicator. That's a really good leading indicator. But just what I do is for my preparation for the week, what I'm looking for, first and foremost, let me just give you a quick overview, and subscribe to this channel so that you can get the trainings and the tutorials that I'll be doing on a regular basis, showing you how the system works. And there's nothing new under the sun. You're going to find that, okay, she does the same thing because the system works the same way. And so basically, what you're looking for is three arrows, a big arrow and two little arrows going in the same direction. And again, part of the system, all of that will be included. And then you customize your arrows based on the colors that you want. And that's completely up to you. For me, I have white, right, as my big arrow, And so when you see the big arrow, when that populates, what that's telling you is that the trend is about to change. The trend is about to change. So that's not the arrow that you're going to execute on. That's your indication that this may be a pair that you want to keep your eye on in preparation to catch that move, right? And so when you see that, now sometimes this arrow will move. Sometimes it will move, and that's perfectly okay because you're not executing on this arrow. You're executing when you get the third arrow going in the same direction, and it's going to be smaller arrows. The third arrow solidifies the big arrow. It solidifies the move. It confirms the move, right? It's more stable, it's more definite that that's what's going to happen when you get your third little arrow going in the same direction. So in this case, you have your big arrow right here. We would not have gotten in, right? We would not have executed on that. Then you have your yellow arrow that populated. Great. So we're getting closer, and you can start to see the move, but we still don't execute on the second arrow. We execute on the third arrow. Now, the third arrow does not have to be close like it is here. It can be a little spaced out. That's okay, as long as you have three arrows going in the same direction, one of which is the big arrow. That's it. When you see the third arrow, that's when you're going to execute, because it solidifies the move. It solidifies the move. And so that's what happened here, right? Now, again, I use the 50 EMA. I use the 50 EMA when it crosses or below for sale, the 50 EMA, and closes. My next candle going in the downward direction for sale is when I would get in. Because again, the 50 gives me more of a definite, a stronger, I should say, a stronger move in that direction, whether buy or sell, right? So in this case, just kind of giving you a scenario, I still wouldn't have gotten in here because as you can see, it just consolidated. It really wasn't a lot of volume in the market with these little candles. And so I just wouldn't have gotten in on that. And then you have a pullback right here. So obviously you wouldn't have gotten in here. Then you had a strong candle down. Now this was definitely news that caused this big long candle. And you know, here's the thing. Sometimes you may miss a move. You may, and that's fine. It's perfectly okay because you're going to get enough pips on a more consistent basis that it's okay if you miss a candle, a strong candle, or some pips. It's okay. You don't want to fret over what you missed. You want to capitalize on what you gain. That's the key. That's the key. You want to capitalize on what you gain. And so obviously I would have gotten in after this candle closed. Now, one thing I learned during my journey here trading is that you never want to jump on a moving train, right? Nobody would do that, right? You wouldn't jump on a moving train. You're going to wait for the train to stop at the train station and you get in when they open the doors and you take off. But you're not going to wait for the train to take off and then run behind it and try to catch it, because that's going to be disastrous. Same thing applies in trading. You always want to wait for a candle to close so that you can get a clearer idea of what direction the price is trying to go in. But you got to wait for it to close to do that. So, and I say that to say I still would not have gotten in even though I would have seen this moving. Wait for it to close and then execute from that point. Now, you are going for a sale because you have your big candle and your two little candles going in the same direction for a sale. With this system, you get in under those parameters and you get out under the same parameters. When you see the big arrow going in the opposite direction, meaning changing the trend, right? Then you go ahead and get out. Now you could actually get out at the third candle going in the upward direction. I personally, I get out when I see my big arrow going in the opposite direction. That's when I get out. So in this particular case, let's go ahead and see how many pips you would have gotten. You got in right here. And let's say you just got in right here, because that would have been perfectly fine as well. This pop-up is getting on my nerves. That would have been fine also if you would have gotten in on the third arrow. It would have been fine. And you could have just carried that down, or you would have carried it right here when this arrow populated. You would have carried it there, and that would have been 68 pips. 68 pips. That's really, really good. And of course, compounding your account, you can see 68 pips will really, really change some things in your life with the proper lot size and properly compounding your account. So that's just a brief on the system and how that works So let me go through what I look for when I am looking for potential setups. So I'll just use my symbol changer and I just bounce between. I do trade on the 30-minute chart, so it's on the 30-minute. Now I would not, this is not one that I would be looking to get in, because basically the move has already taken place. You could get in it. That's a different strategy for a different day. But generally, that's not what I'm looking for. Generally, that's not what I'm looking for. So we're going to go over the GU 30 minutes. Okay, this is the last big arrow move, right? The down move right here. And as you can see, it went on down. So I'm not going to be looking at that because the move is already made. And we're just going to keep moving forward. All right, so we have a arrow going up and we have our second arrow. So this definitely would be some that I would consider. I'm going to look at some other things, but just these two elements right here tells me to look a little deeper, because we're waiting on the third arrow. Now, as you can see, this is an upward arrow. So what it's saying is we're about to change the trend to a long or a bullish move, right? But again, the third arrow is not there. So that's a good point I want to make too. Even though you have the big arrow, you can still be in the opposite trend. We just don't know when it's going to actually take off in that direction. It's until you get the third arrow that the move is actually solidified and the actual trend is in the process is actually changing. So we don't have that yet, right? So let's drop down to the 15-minute and see what's going on the 15-minute. Do we have a third arrow on the 15? Now we have a third arrow on the 15. So what that tells me is that we're going to get that third arrow, right? We're going to get that third arrow. We typically always get the third arrow anyway. When you have your big arrow, the third arrow is coming. The second and the third is coming. It's just a matter of when. So on the 15-minute, it did actually take off, but I trade on the 30. Now, what you're looking for and what I look for is I go up to the next time frame, and I typically go 2 time frames above the chart that I trade on. So if you were trading on the 15-minute chart, then you want to go at least to the hour to look for directional support. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for directional support. So in my case, it's going to be the hour. I'm going up and I'm looking for what? I'm looking for a buy because my 30-minute arrow is up for a buy, right? So on the hour, I want to see an indication that is going up. Now we have support and resistance built in. So here's my support down here. And I do see where it did hit this support area. Wicks matter. Wicks matter. So it did hit the support area and it bounced up. So that's an indication that it is going in that direction, though I do not have the arrows. So let's go up to the fourth. I'm sorry, not the fourth, the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Let's look. Let's go back on the 4-hour chart. We have our up arrow right here. And it's in an uptrend. It's currently in an uptrend. We don't have the corresponding opposite arrow going down to say that the trend is over. So it's still in an uptrend. Now, this is the market. You're going to have the fluctuation. You're going to have pullbacks. You're going to, have these ups and downs. That's the market. That's just the market. You just stay in because you're trading with the trend. And trading with the trend is always going to give you the highest probability trade, winning trade, I should say, the highest probable winning trade. So let's look at this. So we're looking for a buy, right? We're looking for a buy. I have my support right here that just popped up. So it's and wicks matter, wicked out right there, then it pushed back up. So it's trying to go up, but this is not one that I would consider taking, because me personally, I want to see the arrow. I want to see less of the move. This move took place back here. I want to see less of that move. I want the upward move to be around in this area at the beginning. And so in this case, that's not one that I would look at. No problem. Let's move on to the next one. And let's go back to my 30-minute. I always start there and see what we're looking at, right? So this is UJ. I have my big arrow, no blue arrows, no small little arrows yet, not a problem. But it's telling me what? A trend is about to change. And so let's go down to my 15 and see if we got anything on the 15 and the additionals. No additional. So this is a fresh move. Now I don't even trade the 5 or the 1. There's too much going on the charts with that, and I don't trade that anyway. But sometimes I like to look because everything tells you a story, and we don't even have a second arrow on the 5-minute. Let's go to the 1-minute. Now, in my analysis, you don't have to look for that. I don't at all, but just for the sake of training with you all, I'm doing it. Again, even on the 1-minute. So this is super fresh, like real fresh. We may not even get a move, for a few days, for a couple of days before that arrow comes, unless news hits and it spikes it up or what have you. But this is very, very fresh. Now let's go to the hour chart and see what it's looking like. We got an arrow on the hour, which is good, Got consistent. It's consistent with the 30-minute. And we have an arrow going down on the 4-hour. Now look right here. We have that support right there, right? But guess what? It didn't bounce back up. It actually went past that support. It broke that support and it closed. So that right there tells me that this is a potential continuation. This is a potential continuation, but it could retest the 50 and shoot up, or it can continue down. So this is not one that I would consider. I want some more components on that. So I would not consider that one, right? Listen, you don't have to trade multiple pairs. You just get two good ones and you're good. You are good. Okay, so this is one here. Let's go to the 30-minute. This is UCAD. Nothing happening. The move is already made. It's still in a buy trend, even though you have this pullback. All of this is a pullback. All of this, I'm sorry, it's a sell. So this is the direction. Any of the bullish moves are pullbacks. So you can't be afraid of pullbacks, especially with this system, because it really, the only thing that you're looking for are the arrows. When you get the opposite arrow going and you get the same arrow going in the opposite direction, then you get out. No matter what happens in between, you're always going to end the run, the trend in profit. The only thing that you have to do is be patient, Now, of course, I will be providing some additional training videos on other strategies that I use with this system, where you can set your take profit. You don't have to ride the whole trend out, because we don't know how long the trend is going to be, right? You don't have to ride the trend out if you feel uncomfortable holding and that kind of thing. You feel uncomfortable with the pullbacks. You can set your pips. How many pips you want? How many pips you want to go for? 10, 15, 30, 25, 50. You can set that. And if that makes you feel better, then great. And again, I'm going to show you some neat stuff as we move forward on this channel. So make sure you subscribe to Trading Made Easy so that you can be in the know. So no, this one here, no, not going to do it. I need a fresh one. I like to have a fresh one. And I tell you, before I started using this system, I only traded like 2 pairs, and they were GBP pairs. That was GBP odd and GJ. That was it. Now, if the setup is there and the story is good, I take it and I profit. So, and that's because of the system, because it's accurate and it's consistent, and it doesn't matter what pair it is, because now only thing that you're looking for is the setup, and you only relying on the arrows to tell you that. You don't even really, you're not setting it up. You're just relying on the arrows to tell you what the setup is, and then you do a couple of confirmations, and then you take the trade. So we got Aussie right here. We got a bullish arrow on the Aussie. Let's see what the hour is saying. We got a bullish on the hour. That's a good sign, right? And we have what? Do we have a bullish? No, we have a bearish on the 4 hour. And we don't have any support down here. So this may still run. But you never know with the market. What I know is that if the move is already made and it has already kind of did its thing, let's go right here. Let's take this down right here. That's 99 pips. So this thing has ran 99 pips. So it's about time. I don't know when. No one knows when it's going to make that move. But it's about time that it begins to make a turn, because just like you, for instance, if you were running, if you were jogging, and you were jogging for say 3 miles, after a while you're going to start getting tired. Some people would be less than a mile, some people 3, some people that's more conditioned can go a little further. But guess what? At some point, you're going to want to come up for air. You're going to want to take a breather, right? And just rest. And that's typically what happens. My mentor shared that illustration with me, and I'm like, that makes so much sense. You're going to want to rest. Well, in the market, what that looks like in the market is a pullback. That's what it looks like in the market, or reversal. So this arrow was a bearish arrow, bearish move down. It went down 99 pips. 99 pips it went down. So it's about time for it to be tired and want to take a break. And again, what that looks like in the market is a reversal. And so that's what we're waiting for, an arrow that will indicate that it's tired and it's going in the other direction. But thus far, it hasn't done that, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on, right? So we got an arrow right here on the 4 hours. So let's see. More than likely is on the 30-minute. Let's see. Okay. So on the 30-minute, we have our bullish arrow going up. Got a little pullback. Then it's made its way up here. So let's see. Now the move has already been made. So I'm already feeling kind of, You can still take the trade. I'm going to show you all how you can do that as well and still profit, because the arrows tell you what to do. You just need to have the right confirmations, right? So on the hour, we have a bullish move on hour 2. And again, that move has been made. And then as you saw before, we have a bullish move on the 4 hour, and let's just check this daily out here. And we have a bearish on the daily. We got that green dot right there. That's the beginning of support. And so that's where it stopped and it kind of pulled back, is pulling back up. But the overall trend is bearish because the higher time frames give you the strongest trends, the strongest pattern, trend direction. So overall, but the daily, the move can take some days, it can take some weeks. So you can capitalize on some pips on your lower time frame going in the opposite direction. Just have to all make sense. And for me, I want my 30-minute to be fresh. This move has already been made. So let's move on. Okay, so you have your Euro odd. The move is already made. Moving on. Euro chef. We have our bullish arrow here on the 30. What do we have on? We have a bearish on the 1 hour. So moving on. I want that consistency. Okay, so EJ, we have our bullish pattern. Bullish arrow here on the hour. What we have on the 30? We have bullish on the 30. What do we have on the 4 hour? And we have bearish on the 4 hour. So don't want to do that. And GBP chef, what we have on the 30. The move is already made on the 30. So we're going to move on. CAD JPY, we have our bullish move right here, that arrow on the 30. We have an arrow on going the same direction on the hour. And we have a bearish on the 4 hour, and it has hit, actually it broke the support and it closed. So again, this may continue down some more, or it may retest and go up, or like I said, go down. So we're going to move forward. GJ on the 30. What does GJ say on the 30? We got our bullish arrow on the 30. We have a bearish on the hour. So no. And it broke the support here, so no. This may still have some more juice in it, right? So let's move on. Okay, so we have a bearish on the hour there. Okay, let's go to the 30. We have a bearish on the 30, and this is pretty fresh because we got our 2 arrows going in the same direction right around. So this is still fresh. And it broke the 50 and closed. So we retesting. Look like it's slightly touched it, and we can expect that to go down. That's the expectation. However, let's go to the hour. We got the bearish on the hour. We got our 3 arrows on the hour going down, so that's good. And it is new. It is a new move, right? It's a new move. And then we have the 4 hour. Same deal. On the 4 hour, we have our bearish arrow going down. So all of my 2 higher time frames coincide directionally coincide with my 30-minute. So this would definitely be a pair that I'm going to write down, right? This is one that I'm going to write down, and that's odd NZD, odd NZD, and that's going to be for a sale because all three time frames coincide, right? All three time frames coincide, and it's a fairly new move. You haven't really missed much of the move when the market closed. So yeah, that's definitely one that you want to look at. And then I do like to go to the daily because, and look at the daily. The daily even have the bearish. This is a strong one. Come on, this is a strong, look at that, all four. And the daily is the strongest, gives you the strongest move, right? And see, the hours, the time frames below are pullbacks from whatever the trend is on the daily. That's really what you're capitalizing on. Whatever the daily shows you, whatever that trend is on the daily, the lower time frames would be in the opposite direction, and you're just trading really the pullbacks on that. But if you have a directional support from the daily on down, that's super strong. And as you can see, so we got the big arrow for the bearish. Right up in here, I don't know if you can see it, but right up in here, you have your resistance, your red dots, your resistance. So it reached a point of resistance and it pushed back down. And so much so that the arrow populated. Now remember, the arrow tells us directional, a trend is about to change, but we don't execute until the third. So even if you traded the daily, you can do this on any time frame, whatever time frame you want to trade, you can do that. You'll just be waiting for your two corresponding arrows going in the same direction, and then you know, hey, you're in there. And of course, if you trade the daily, you expect to be in the trade for a period of time because obviously it moves a little slower. But the volume in one candle is a lot. Like you can trade one candle and make hundreds of pips from a daily candle. But I digress. So we have the daily going down. We have the 4 hour going down, and we got some resistance right there. It's pushing that down. This little pop up, I have to take care of that because I'm not liking it. Go down. And then you have the 1 hour supporting the same direction, bearish. And look, this is a very, very strong resistance area because all of the time frames hit the resistance up in here, right? Strong going down, and then your 30-minute. Strong going down. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful, beautiful setup. Then let's just see on the MACD. Of course, this is based on market closing. It is Saturday, so when it closed, but look, you have your red moving average on top of your blue, indicating that the sellers are strong. And not only that, you had a crossover right here. So that's another confirmation. It crossed over, and that coincides with the big arrow. Look up, look up. You see the crossover right there, crossover right here, and then follow the line up. It coincides with the big arrow. The big arrow said, we're about to change positions here. And the crossover said the same thing. So another confirmation. Then you have your volume down here below the 0 line, indicating sellers are strong in the market. So you have quite a bit of confluence here. I would be very, very comfortable in taking this position, which I will because I have that written down. And that's all I do. And I have not drawn any support and resistance. I have not drawn any trend lines. I have not drawn any Fibonacci's. I have not done any of that. You're seeing what I'm doing based on the arrows. So let's see what else we got, right? Now you do want to look at news as well. You want to look at news as well. And you don't, if you're comfortable trading news, then fine. But if not, then just avoid the news. Avoid the news. And The market always resets that in the direction that it was going in. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So we got an arrow going up, right, for a bullish move, and it broke. We had some resistance right here, but look, price broke the trend. I'm sorry, the resistance dots and closed above it, indicating that it's going to continue up. It could go back the other way because look, we don't have the other arrows to solidify the move, but that is the potential. That is the potential. So that's on the 30. So we got a bullish on the 30, a bullish on the hour, and what the 4-hour say. We got a bearish on the 4-hour, and it hit our support right there. So it's possible that it will go up. I personally like for all three, me personally. And again, I'll show you some other strategies where you can still capitalize, get you some pips. You might want to scout, get you a quick 10 to 20 pips. You can do that in between the move. And now that's another video. This is what I do. This is what I do. Bullish on the 30, bullish on the hour, bullish on the hour. And do we have a bullish on the 4? No, we don't have a bullish on the 4, so let's move on. Let's move on. We have a bullish on the 30, bullish on the hour, bearish on the 4-hour. And just to give you an example too, well, let me stick with this because I can go on this training. I'll show you all how you can still capitalize on that. But you see the simplicity of trading made easy. We just simply following the arrows, See the trend line, all of that is in there. All of that is in there. Beautiful, beautiful. A lot of people don't really know how to draw trend lines, and if they do, they don't really know what to look for. Lots of individuals have a problem with break and retest. You got to know all of that stuff. You know, supply and demand, when it hit a supply zone and a demand zone, and what you can expect, engulfing candles, and all of these things is, you know, what you basically would have to know when you're going into the market, reading the market, you know, looking back in history, seeing what the patterns are, what type of patterns do you currently have, any head and shoulders forming, just different things. You don't have to do any of those things. You're simply looking for the arrows. That's it. So we have our bearish arrow. This move is still fairly fresh. We do have a resistance right here. So, you know, the expectation is that it will push back down, but let's see, because you never know, because we still don't have our three, well, we're looking for the third one. We got this one, we're looking for the third one. On the hour, we have a bearish, so that's good. On the 4-hour, we have a bearish, so that's good too. So we have directional support. We have a bearish on the 4-hour. I'm just curious. Let me see what the daily looking at, but the 4 hours is good enough. But look, the daily has a bearish as well. This joker going down, right? We're still waiting for our 2 arrows, right? But to have directional support from the daily to the 4-hour, the 1 hour, and the 30. This is good. This is good. So it moved on the 30. We just because I trade the 30. If you were trading the hour, whatever the circumstance going on an hour, no matter what, you're still waiting for the 3rd arrow going in the same direction. So you're still waiting for that. I do it on the 30. So I have 2 arrows. I'm waiting for my 3rd arrow that's going in the downward arrow, and that's when I'll execute. And it's going to be around in here somewhere because we have a pullback here. So when it drops, that 3rd arrow will populate, and then that will solidify the move, the change in trend. And that's when you get in and you take your ride. Now, let's talk about, and let me write this down too, because this is one that I am looking at. I'm just waiting for my 3rd arrow. This is sold, and this is going to be for sale. I love simple, easy trading. When I first started trading foreign currency, I learned what I needed to learn, and I'm still learning. Don't get me wrong. I'm still learning, and I'm a big advocate for the education and to know this and consistently perfect your craft. However, I still want to do it easy. I still want simple, easy trading strategies that I don't have to go through all of these nuances, and I can still capitalize on this market. And I want to be able to teach people to do the same thing. And this indicator is by far the best indicator system out there, the absolute best. It really doesn't get any easier than that. There will be a link in the inside of my description, somewhere in this video in the description, where you can get this system, and you can start trading this way as well. There is a cost. You need to invest. You need to invest in your future, your financial prosperity. Invest in your knowledge. Invest in your education. And so, yeah, there is a fee to have this. Is a one-time fee now of $299. Well, it's like $323 with tax. But here's the thing: it's one time, and it's for a lifetime. When you make that purchase, it's yours for a lifetime, and you can begin profiting on a consistent basis simply by following these arrows. Now, once you are utilizing this suite of indicators, you'll have access to a full library of tutorials and training and all kinds of and a community, I should say, of traders, the pro traders, master traders, beginner traders, never traded before traders, intermediate traders. Everybody is here and all different levels of experience benefiting from this system. So yeah, you'll be pleasantly surprised. 323 is a drop in the bucket compared to Forex education that's out there. And for those that are aware, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about thousands of dollars ongoing, and you can't even trade independently. You're still pulling your hair out after you spent thousands of dollars, or in a monthly contract. Nothing's really wrong with that, especially if you're getting quality education. But hey, this is one time. It's simple. It's easy. It does everything for you. I think it's just the best thing since sliced bread. Me personally, I have been benefiting from this. I've been profiting from this, and I have not been pulling my hair out. I haven't been stressed out. I mean, I know how to, make the money in the market. Don't get me wrong. But if I can do it the easy way, yeah, I'm not ashamed to say that's the way that I'm going to go. So I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to finish going through my pairs. But this is the gist, and this is what I do. And you can do the same as well. So go ahead on. You have access in the link to go to the website and, peruse through it. It's very detailed as to what you get. And let's just start rocking. Let's just start rocking. You all have a great one.